Hello, everyone. I'm back. So remember what I said about trying to do videos more often? Yeah, that didn't exactly happen. So I uh, realized that I hadn't been actually doing videos, and I thought I'd try to at least make that up somehow. So I'm gonna make another video. I'm gonna do another that time in Rogue Trader. One because I feel like I've fallen very far behind. I've had multiple sessions since the last one, and all sorts of cool stuff has happened. And I do want to tell you guys about it because it is really cool. And um, there'll be other videos about other stuff too, I think. But for now, let's stick to Rogue Trader because I really kind of want. I want to tell you guys what happened and how I screwed up, but then actually managed to retcon it. But so this is gonna be a little behind the scenes look for my players. Also, so that's a cool thing. Um, and I have my notebook here. Sorry, I just don't trust myself to remember all of this. So that's cool. Yay. That's a good angle, I think. Right. So that time in Rogue Trader. This is my notebook. There's a lot in here about okay. So this is their thing. Yeah, it was a very short distance. And their trip through the warp was relatively uneventful. Um, uh, yeah, nothing worth noting happened. So um, yeah, and they make it to this desolate moon. There's the captain. There's her bodyguard slash head of security slash general tough guy slash chief advisor because he's actually a big part of the top crew members. And then there's the void master of the ship, who's also that serves as their astropath because they don't have a proper astropath because reasons. They do have a navigator. She's an NPC. She generally just navigates the ship and doesn't do much because is terrified of leaving the ship because I don't want to have too much of a DM NPC going on. So there's that. But they had just saved the lives of several Mescal Folsom on Renthok, and Howdred reunited with the other members of the crew, and they explained to him what they'd done. And then they decided, well, now we have to go look into this, these coordinates. And they decided they were going to not go and see the Inquisitor right away, like they said they were going to do, because he'd asked them to come back when they were done with, when they had figured out what the deal with the ship was, and find him because he had something else going on. They decided that instead of going right back to them, because warp travel is unpredictable and stuff, and they can always fudge a reason that they couldn't get back right away. They were going to go investigate the coordinates on this flyer they found. So they found a flyer when they went and dealt with the kidnappers, plugged into a set of coordinates very near the set of coordinates where the other Inquisitor, Inquisitor Del Smith, had told them to go. Yeah, they're dealing with two Inquisitors. It's a lot. So they figured this might have something to do with it, given that these guys were kidnapping and were being paid money by somebody to provide people, and they'd chosen Mescal Folsom because they were uh, unlikely to be missed, and also a personal belief that what they were doing was wrong and against the Emperor. But that is neither here nor there. Uh, and they so they had the flyer. So and the Renthok PDF had actually asked the captain to maybe look at what the what the deal was with the coordinates because they didn't have the resources to do so. So um, the crew of the effective line set off for these coordinates. It was a system not too far from Renthok, and I think they had one instance where they had voices in their head saying no, not that one. I think it was the one where they had to make toast. Basically, every time they go into the warp, weird stuff happens because it's the warp, and they have to roll on this table. And one of the things they rolled, I don't remember all of the weird stuff that happened. One of them was, I believe, the voices telling them they had to make toast because reasons. And yeah, and then Martin actually wanted to tease Howdred about that. Was like, was using his mental voice, to speak in Howdred's mind, even after the main voices had gone away because, reasons. And so they make it to this dead system. There's no life as far as they can tell. There is, however, one moon around a gas giant that seems to be something. So they head off there, and Martin ends up getting in a telepathic conversation. They start with a Vox conversation with this Dark Eldar, and then Martin ends up in a telepathic conversation with him. And it, how did it go? Oh, yeah. They want to go down and deal with him. I remember now. And he asked if they were the ones from Renthok. They say they aren't. He's, he's being kind of cagey. And then they're just like, well, we should go down and talk to you. And he's like, why would I reveal my location when clearly you're against what I'm doing? And then Martin tried to warp ping him, but failed the roll. The navigator, I was saying, actually managed to succeed in the roll. So she managed to figure out where he was, at least close to. So they head down to the surface and search around the surface. Like 2 of them fudge the rolls, and then the captain actually rolls decently and finds the hidden trapdoor that was leading to an underground base. And they head into this underground base that is on this dead moon that the Dark Eldar is using as a staging area for transferring prisoners that they're buying off of various Hive World thugs, basically. I mean, the ones on Renthok where they were, they'd hire out random unsavory people on various planets, and then would say, just bring us kidnap victims, and they'd do it, and they'd get large sums of money in exchange. And even turning in people they believed to be heretics sometimes as trying to serve the Emperor. Some of them were just in it for the money. There's a whole host of reasons. But what they did was they created this waypoint as a transfer position because they didn't want to have any of their contacts, who were all of questionable loyalty, know where their actual operation was. So they fight with the 2 Dark Eldar, and actually had a whole setup I made with a box. I didn't show the players, but I set it up myself to try to map it out in my head. I actually took drawing maps for later battles, not, detailed maps, but like a square on a piece of paper with a few X's so I could keep track of who was where, and then explain this as theater of the mind to the players. But so they actually did. They fought 2 Dark Eldar who had shuriken guns, and then they fought who were just guards, and then they fought the main guy who actually used psychic powers against them, and they and accidentally pushed himself too far and got something weird happened with the warp, and every reflective surface in the entire place shattered, and he disappeared and then reappeared in the same spot 5 seconds later. Now, this gave everyone enough time to completely surround him and win the battle decisively. So, that worked. And it was interesting. I'm not sure if I should have rolled on the table or not, but I think I made the right call. Also worth noting, I didn't do my due diligence and research. I'd known about the Dark Eldar, and my knowledge of Warhammer 40k lore was a little rusty. I've been trying to reread more on it, but Dark Eldar, I knew of their ties to Slaanesh, and I knew about their need for human suffering as part of their continued existence, and their use of the webways. But what I didn't know about was that they don't do psychic powers. They refuse to use powers tied to the warp. It's a cultural refusal because it's drawing the attention of Slaanesh when really they don't want to, which I kind of misunderstood that. So that was a whole thing. I actually came up with a very clever retcon, but this video is getting long. So they defeat the guy, they take all the humans he has captured out of stasis, and they prepare for their next leg of their journey. And I'm going to tell you about that in another video, because this one's running long. But, love you guys.